Okay, so Sampath gave an introduction to the project. So I will quickly go over some of this. This is the University of Peradeniya group. Sampath, Roshan, Asanga, myself, Mani, and Asanka are the sorry, I think sharing. Yeah. Okay, so these are our group members at the University of Peradeniya, and like Sampath said, so today's presentation, what I would like to do is give a quick overview of the project with Sampath already, and then motivation behind the project, and introduction to the platform, and hopefully we will have a interesting discussion about this whole idea and what we are trying to do as part of this TEAL2.O project. So this is the 8th presentation in the series of presentations organized by the support and development sector for the TEAL2.O project at University of Peradeniya. And so like Sampath said, it is a 12 institution partnership. University of Peradeniya is the partner, the coordinating partner, and the project grant is close to almost 100 million, 100,000 euros, and sorry, 1 million, close to 1 million euros. And the timeline is 3 years, and we are right now, because of all these issues that we had over the past few years, we lost about good 1 year, and we have requested for an extension and we have received it. So by the end of this year, the project should come to a culmination. And we are now at a point where we can slowly roll out some of the features of the platform and actually get stakeholders involved so that the platform can be launched in a formal way. So that the platform can be started in a formal way down the road. And what are we trying to do here in this project? We are trying to develop a truly collaborative technology-enabled teaching learning platform that is yeah. The emphasis here is on collaboration, and it be modular, and it be open, and being technology enabled. And so what are we trying to do is actually provide a platform where content, I will touch upon what we really mean by content. Collaborative content creation without borders, meaning without national borders, without institution borders, without regional borders, and so on. So right now we don't have a platform for such collaborative content creation, learning, teaching, content creation, and hopefully this platform will provide us with avenue for that. Then also the platform will also enable learning also to happen in a collaborative way. Again, the emphasis is on collaboration, and so collaboration between teachers and students, and students and students, and so on. So whether we can get these things through a platform is what we are trying to do. And the other point that we want to deliver through this platform and this project is active participation. So again, the question as to what we mean by active has to be carefully thought of, and I will hopefully touch upon that a little bit. And then finally, the platform will also provide a way of measuring the learning in some sense. I know it cannot be measured in a quantitative way, but there has to be some kind of assessment of the progress of learning, the effectiveness of learning, effectiveness of content, effectiveness of methods. So one way of doing that is using actually this outcome-based approach, where everything will be tagged to a learning outcome, intended learning outcome, and student expectations, and so on. And hopefully, this platform will allow us to numerically quantify this in some sense. And so there are ways that we are developing it, touching upon the already established methods that are there, how we are trying to, how we can incorporate that into a platform is what we are trying to do over here in this project. And well, obviously, how do you do all of this? In a physical, in-person setting, it is extremely difficult to do all of this, especially in situations where there are large number of students. And the only way that this can be achieved in such a context is through technology. And the technology is right now, it is here, and it has actually been there for about the last 10 years, but we have not been using it. And so we are trying to use technology actually to deliver this objective, and that's what we are trying to do in this project. And also on-demand learning. So the question is, so what motivated us to do this is the question. And so this was conceived somewhere around 2012, and where we actually, in the project proposal itself, we highlighted that the gross enrollment ratios in countries like in the countries on this side are very, very poor. For example, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Sudan, it's very high. The student teacher ratio is very high, meaning the number of students that per teacher is very high. And that's very, it's a problem. And we also see here, we at state institutions in Sri Lanka or the other institutions in Sri Lanka, notice that we have about 100, 200, 300 students in a given class. So how can you make it collaborative? It is almost impossible. And the only way that we thought that we could, that as the University of Peradeniya team, around 2012, we were talking about these things, and we kind of said, well, the technology is there, let's try to use it so that we, with all these difficulties, whether we can actually overcome them by having a platform. Another problem that we have, especially like in countries like Sri Lanka, are actually recruitment. Any education institution, the quality of the education institution is almost 100% correlated to the quality of the human resources that the university has, and it is well established. And in that context, we are highly underprivileged, because in Sri Lanka, if you look at this graph, this is from the UGC report in 2014, and it shows that we have huge vacancies. I mean, especially in PhD qualified staff members at the universities, and masters qualified staff members at the university level. So the challenge is, how do you recruit them? And in this report, it was highlighted that there's a 30% vacancy in the state sector universities alone in 2014. It eased up a little bit, but again, with the mass exodus of academics that we are witnessing right now, well, things are going to be worse. So we, on one hand, we have large number of students. On the other hand, we have not enough people to be engaged as facilitators, teachers. So how do we solve this? Only way is to figure out if we can collaborate with others from other institutions, whether we can share content, whether we can share experiences, whether we can share mentoring and things like that. So how do you do that? And hopefully the platform will provide a framework that allows us to collaborate, share resources, especially human resources, across institutions, for example, in Sri Lanka, and across the partner institutions that we have in the project at least. So that's one of the motivations. And so how do we do this? Through this platform is what we are trying to do. And another thing that we noticed, especially in the past few years, is that this is the classroom that most of us have been used to. And by the way, that this is the classroom that you would have seen in this is the mural in University of Bologna, Italy, one of the first modern university, which is about 1,000 years old, and 1000 AD, it was established in 1000 AD. And if you notice, this is the classroom that you and I, most of us in this audience, would have experienced. And not far back, actually, at least 2 years ago, this is the classroom that I was engaged in, even actually 2 years, and right now we seem to be again going back to this. But then, whereas while this is what we, because of our lack of resources, have been forced to have as a medium of education delivery and reception, elsewhere in the world, this is a classroom in MIT. If you notice, this is a huge classroom, and it's not a one-way communication-based learning experience that you have here. Here, there is only one person that is disseminating information, and everybody else is a receiver. Whereas here, if you notice, you observe a lot of people doing a lot of collaboration, talking together, doing different things, and so this was the classroom about actually 5, 6, 7 years ago, and right now even that is changing, because now you don't have to sit next to each other in order to collaborate, because you have this third medium and it's very rich. It has a lot of tools that allows you to do this exact same collaboration across the globe, from one end of from the US to the Sri Lanka, which is kind of at the border. So you can do this collaboration now because of these tools that we have over here as this third medium. So this also we noticed, and so the rest of the world was going in the direction of my screen is stuck. Okay, so technology enabled active learning. So this brings us to actually the question, because we are trying to do all of this through a platform, we must really try to understand what it really means to learn. And if you were to think of actually what is learning, if you ask this question and if you were challenged to express that in one sentence as to what learning is, there's no straightforward answer for this, but it's quite a challenge. And what we found, and what seemed to be a nice, very scientific definition, was given by this physicist who has this massive open book on physics. It's like an encyclopedia, and it's a global project. And this person, Christoph Schiller, says that perceiving, classifying, and memorizing together form learning. This is from a very basic nuts and bolts scientific kind of definition. And I thought that kind of captures it to from a very basic point of view. Obviously, it is more complex than that, but at least these go into learning. And if you notice, perceiving and classifying are things that, and memorizing are things that can be done. Sorry, classifying and memorizing are things that can be done by machines. And the only thing that a machine cannot do right now is perceiving. Perceiving, machines are poor at doing that. They're extremely good. They have unlimited processing power compared to humans. So they are extremely good at these things. And we recently saw a very good example of this. ChatGPT, I think everybody has heard of it. So ChatGPT is actually this specifying and memorizing, because it has at its access all the information that it has, and who has accessed it, how people have accessed it, how people have rated this. All the content is kind of rated. It's all there on the web, and it knows how to classify it. It can do it very fast, and it does a very good job, extremely good job, as we have seen. So these are things that a machine can do. So what can a machine cannot do? Perceive. And so maybe can we enhance that? How can we enable that? And so again, along with these lines, I also like this quote by Albert Einstein, who's considered to be one of the topmost innovators of the past century. And he says, it's not very important for a person to learn facts. For that, you have books. That's what he said. And not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think is what he said was important. Now it is much more so, because it's not now books, even books are obsolete. Everything is over there on the web. And right now for us, but we have to go and find out in the web. Now for that, we don't have to do that. Also, there is a machine called ChatGPT, which will actually browse the web and information in a much more efficient, fast way. So then we have to really ask, what is this learning, what is this teaching, is it facts? Because that concept of delivering facts is becoming, it has not becoming, it has actually become obsolete. So we have to rethink this. And then from a more formal point of view, the Berkeley Center for Teaching and Learning says learning is a process. It's not only one thing. So it's an iterative process which is active, builds on prior knowledge, occurs in a complex social situation, is situated in an authentic context. That is the most important. If you just simulate the requirement, if you try to tell anybody that this is important, that is why you should learn, it doesn't happen very effectively. So people have understood through studies, experiments, that learning happens best when it is situated in an authentic context, requires learning motivation and cognitive engagement. Now again, when we say active, so active doesn't mean you are walking around in the class, jumping up and down, or doing push-ups or sit-ups or something. Active learning means if your cognitive faculties are working, if they are, if you are sweating by thinking, then that is active. So how do you do this? So some of these things are also talked about in these two very interesting videos. I can share it with you if you are interested, and it was actually made available a long time ago while we were having this Prashant. He's the one who shared both these videos. And so in this first video, Professor Eric Nasu from, I think he was at Harvard, Harvard, he was a professor at Harvard. He was a very good teacher because he was getting a lot of students. He was like Walter Levine at MIT. And but he started noticing something, and that he was not effective, though he had a lot of high teacher rating. So his story is here, and why he started thinking that people learn much better by collaborating with peers. So that's his story here. Sugata Mitra, one of the educational professionals, he's the one who championed this idea of the build the school in the cloud a long time ago, not really, it's about 2008. And where this person tells you, give the opportunity to people, they will learn. And all you have to do is play the role of a facilitator. So what he calls is be a grandma. So the grandmas, they say, are the best encouragers, best facilitators. So be a grandma. How to be a grandma is how to be a teacher. Make all content, everything make available, facilitate those things. So that is his story. So what we are trying to do here, so what I want to put these things up is to just to fact that this is what when we drafted this proposal some time ago. These are the things that we were talking about. And so what we wanted to do is see whether these things can be facilitated through a platform. And that has been our effort. And we are now in a position to actually start using the platform, making aware of it, and creating awareness for that, the usefulness and the purpose for that, and testing it. It's not complete yet. It is still under development. But now we can actually start talking about it. So this 8th seminar organized by the Support and Development Center of TEAL at University of Peradeniya. The purpose of this is actually to introduce the basic functionalities so that maybe if you are studying, you can collaborate with us to start using it, see whether it can be improved, identify bugs, improve the user friendliness, and so on. And actually be true collaborators even in the development of the platform itself. So, in a nutshell, the platform is this. So, entire tool 2.0 is this what you see on the screen. That's what you see as TEAL 2.0. And we have something called TEAL 1.0. Well, TEAL 1.0 is the platform. So, what we have right now developed is the platform to do all of this stuff. So, what are we trying to do here? That is very interesting. So, if you ask, okay, so all of this is already done in our Moodles. We have a Moodle. All institutions pretty much have a Moodle, the learning resource management system, and mostly it's a Moodle. So, how is it different from a Moodle? Well, in a Moodle, in the classic way that we use a Moodle, all of this is together. You can't separate content from courses. You can't separate content from You can't separate courses from class, separate content from classroom. Everything is put into one place. And that is where it sits. So next year, you would all again duplicate all of this. And there's no way that I can use the content that Sampath uses. Because I have no access to it. On one hand, because the way that we have been using it. Because it is his content. It is it is offered by a different program. And so because it is highly compartmentalized and highly personalized and used by one single person, because all of it is together, all of this is together. So through this platform, what are we trying to do? Actually modularize it. We are trying to see whether we can break this whole thing up into a modular way so that people can follow each of the different levels. Say content. So can we separate content? Can we separate courses and programs? Can we separate classrooms? So what is the functionality of each of these? Let me talk about the next few slides. And at the end of the presentation, give a demonstration of our beta version of our platform that we are trying to achieve. The TEAL1.O platform is the one through which a creator will create content separately, create courses and programs separately, and then learners and facilitators the creators himself or does not be even creators himself who will actually follow for the teaching learning process. We have learners for the collaborative active technology active teaching learning. So that's the idea. So the content can be independently so that everybody has access to the content, reuse it, can to content and maybe modify somebody else's content and so it is free. It's free. And also do the same create courses. So I get access to courses by University of vice versa, they also can see what our courses are. How can you do that? Right now it cannot be done. Students, teachers, grading, everything. We cannot really open up that we have all because everything intrinsically mixed up. Cannot really open it. This platform, do this platform, is come up with modularized and separate so that they can be reused and collaboratively developed. And another from so this content and courses is a global system. So it can sit in a global place. Classrooms are the ones, and this section, classrooms, learners, and facilitators are the one to institution. And so through this platform, you will have access to this global content and the global resources. And through that, we can learn to actually have a collaborative teaching learning experience as well as a collaborative content creator experience. So that is what we are trying to do. So having said that, let me quickly go into how we have managed to actually compartmentalize these things. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is content. So what do we really mean by content? What do we mean by definition for this project purpose? So content is characterized by these things: classification label. Under so we are using a classification called CAH3. That's by that is actually sponsored by UNESCO and it is used for higher education purposes. And we are using that classification. So content will be classified by classification label. It will also be characterized by intent. You will have to specify as to what you are expecting the concept of that content. Then the first that you expect is to be engage with that content and who the author of that content. So characterize in this you will have also have assessment. So it will also contain resources in videos, video material, activities like exercises. Maybe you can ask people to do kind of group work and things like that. So all these activities are very well defined inside that content. Resources are very well defined and collected inside that content, and the assessments are also given inside that content. So at the end of the whole process, you will have some way of having assessment for the learner itself to find out how the learner has fared well, at least with respect to the expectations of the content creator. So that is one. And so this is actually we are going to use a standard called H5P. I think you might be very familiar with this. So there is a standard right now, content material, how to collect them, how to create them, how to view them. There's a standard for H5P. And so that's what we plan to use actually contain, actually to collect this content. So that's content. So here course. So course does not have content. This is one of the significant differences that we are trying to highlight. Actually, when you say a content, everybody thinks of content, activities, assessment, everything together. Now, what we have done so far is actually figured out a way to isolate what it means to be content, how to create them, how to classify them. Then, what course is actually again only a specification. It is just like a data structure. There is only a specification. You don't have students, you don't have teachers, you don't have anything. It is again a classification label, which says under which is classified just for searching and storing purposes. Then it has a name obviously, and it has an objective as to what you are expecting the participant to get out of that course, and it also has ILOs. Intended learning. So actually classified. So maximum 2. Maximum of 2. But a course will have 5. So basically, a course is really ILOs, intended learning outcome, and tag it to a taxonomy. I use or the solo promoting the solo tax via technology in this project. Almost all of us are from background, so we are promoting taxonomy. So we will have learning of specifying, and we do by doing that we will be able to measure medical value, depth level of a course. So and then we will have map. So what is label, name, objective, intended learning outcome to each ILO. Then the number of hours that you expect to spend on these things. Well, that can be actually converted to the total number of credits also, and the order. So that's how we would classify courses. And so we have developed a method, displaying it, and so on. And I will demonstrate that at the end of this. So then again, similarly, what is a program? Again, a program is characterized by a program name as specification of a total minimum number of credits that a student should get, or minimum number of hours spent if you are using notional hours and so on. And it also has program outcomes, POs. So it has a list of program outcomes which stay at the program. What a student is expected to get, the attributes, the competencies, and so on. And it has a program structure. So what do we mean by program structure? It has a list of courses, how each of the courses are mapped to a program outcome, and what is the depth level, and so on. So this is nothing new for us. We have done accreditation processes, especially the Washington Accord accreditation, and so we have been doing this. So through this platform, we will provide a way of actually automatically generating this map. Where once you specify the programs, specify the courses, specify the credits, ILOs, you will get a map that tells you the depth level, actually numerically computed for either solo or either groups. And this will give you an idea as to those are normally what wording in a program, and then be very process because to this and this specification in the bottom right hand you see competency all this classification called CA3 program, what type of student has gained and to what depth level and so on, and then you can have actually a total credit distribution. So again, so content is specified by the ILO name, and also content is also classified by the resources that that it has, and it also has assessments, and it also has activities, and we will connect all of that in a package called XYP using the standard called XYP. Courses are nothing but classification. It is just like a row in Excel sheet and a bunch of another sheet or a table. If you are thinking about databases for the specification of which courses go into which program and what that course maps to the from a program outcome. And finally, so how do you connect all of these to a classroom so that in perspective? That's the last step. And so a classroom is the place learner interacts with content. So content will be to the classroom. You may not be able to see me, but so the content from the content box through this platform, through the TEAL1.O platform, you can pull the content to the classroom. So the teacher that is enrolled in a course will have the freedom to pick whatever the content that matches the ILO of that given course that corresponds to the classroom. So you can pick from a course, you can pick to create a classroom. Once you pick that classroom, you know what the ILOs are. You go to the content bank, find what content. You pull them and put it into a classroom. Now you enroll teachers, you enroll facilitators, you enroll learners. Everybody will be engaged with the content. Learner interaction with content. Learner interact to ensure learners then how do you learn a facilitate and then how all of these come come under one division of programs. So basically idea and what the platform allows courses and programs. Create classrooms that particular program and classroom ensure facilitate interaction. So the classroom will allow you to do all of this in a setting and so that is what we plan to actually that is what we have been using this platform. So what I will do is next is do a demonstration. Maybe this is what a classroom will do. Advantage of all of this is the classroom can be completely separate. So maybe this semester you have a set of classrooms and actually remove the classroom. For the next year, you can remove the classroom.
We can see the screen. So can you go forward and come back maybe?
Oh, it comes on.
I see. Yeah. But in the video free.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is a so we would enforce a pedagogy like this, where you have the learning learning activities. So this is the content that we have created in the database, and it is compartmentalized. It is collected in the form of HYP. So you have your learning content. So it has videos, it has reading material, it has maybe having other exercises. So you do all of that. There's a piece of assessment that allows the student or the participant to figure out whether the expected expectations of the ones at the end of that grade will actually go in grade book as a post participation grade. And then if the student has completed that, student will have to take part in a forum, and this is where the collaboration happens. So the student will start talking with other peers. So once they have started accessing this, they don't have to complete this, so they can start talking about the problems that they have with each other in this forum, and the teacher can also get involved in it. Maybe we have other facilitators who are enrolled in the course, who could help you with these mentors at the various different levels, who can help people address their collaboration issues in a forum. And once you have done that, you go to the final stage of assessing whether the the expected outcomes of that particular topic has been. So what the teacher does is, once the client create a forum and facilitate the discussions or interactions inside the forum. Once all of that, the teacher will set up the assessments and see whether the expected ILOs of a course has been attained by going through these activities of the content as well as completed particular topic. So this is the max or improvement that we can do to this, but as a starting point of going with the pedagogy that looks like this. And so when you do all of this, since it is all done online, online assessments are done, marks the student has got for each member activity, so you can actually quantify how you can put a number for the intended learning outcomes that a student has actually attained. So the graph that I showed before was at the design stage. Now what we have is actually at the attainment stage. Also we have a way of measuring, and so we can generate all this kind of graph that tells you the learning. So it's monitored. So you can do monitoring. Because everything is done on the monitoring part, quality assurance part. And next in mind is actually to demonstrate the platform. Sampath, can you open it up?
Let me check whether there are any questions in the chat. Right now, we don't get any questions, but it's all the audience. If you have any questions, please, raise now before the.
Raise now before the. We will start with the basic. Do this introduction as to how we are trying to do right now. What we talked about right now. Using this platform. Using this platform. We get there, and before we get there, if you have any, let us know. Questions, clarifications you want from this part, and clarifications you want from this part, then open up to this discussion, then open up for discussion next year.
Yeah, we'll proceed.
Yeah. Okay, folks. So let me share this screen as well. Okay, so let me actually try to see if I can use slide. Okay, so I had to you had to attend to a little bit of screen resizing. Can okay. So this is our platform and create update for create update for content. So people can content, update their content, and they can fork somebody else and make their own and continue. So we can give a type of who and what with each of these content. We have a system, and then we have programs. So the more program and courses, and so these are the basic functionalities that we have in the platform for what we talked about. So this is the classification. We are using the CA3 classification. Right now, uh, I just want to create a few things so that we actually go into this and physics for demonstration. And so this content so we have the classification on the three competency domain, subdomain. So this is now classified under the subcategory physics, sciences, education, and astronomy. So you will find that you have and the content specifies what is the classification, intended learning outcome. And so let's say let's go to one of these things and let me go to one that I have created. So this is an example of content. Here this using X5B. And on hand, so the, according to this way we have done it, we pause that. You have so this one example. So you will have your interactive videos, you will record them. And see whether the students take part in this. Maybe sometimes we can actually have a review quiz. And so if a student answers it is wrong, it will tell you and it will So if you write, it will also continue. So it actually makes student point if it has not successfully the review, things like that can be done. So you have to interact and let's say you have of the and so you can really take part of it, part in it, and so you doing maths and related stuff, so you can take a part in. So go back to the beginning. So at the end of that's a video, then reading exercises. So that I'm actually using in my classrooms. Versions of it, I have a Jupyter notebook. Things are there, students can access that and go over there. So once they have gone through video and my reading exercise, I have a set of questions to the inspection whether the students have followed that content or they have got something out of it. So two review questions here, and and then finally I have assignment that they have actually on which the assessments are based. So this is a piece of content. So what's content? Again, it has resources into something called IP. You might be well aware of it and already using it, and it's also classified by set of specifications, which tells you, which gives you at a beginning level, at a overview level, what it is about. It will tell you the intended learning outcome, and it tags the action verb into a solo or Bloom's level, which gives you a depth level for that content. And so that's content. So what we can do here is now, so this is the content that I have created. I can update that content. The content that I have created, if I go to that, I can create from here. So the classification I want to create the content on that. So I will not go into the whole thing. I will just give a brief overview. So you first pick the classification that you want to pick, and it asks for the confirmation. And once you do that, it will ask for all this metadata for the course, for the content. The ILO, how many hours do you expect them to spend on it? What is the name, and so on. And once you create it, the content will be created. So let me maybe so oh sorry. So it's not like yeah. And pick levels, relational, and this will give you all the action verbs that fall under relational. Let's say analyze. Let me put something there. And I will specify that it is 3 hours. Okay, so test is there. We do a lot of tests, so I'm sorry about that. It says that there is such content, so you can't create content under that. Yeah. To create the content, and it will populate the content with the template, and you can go. So the person who's created have the freedom to change that content and nobody else. And so once it is created, it takes a while. We have a little bit of bandwidth issues also. So then this gives you that the content has been created, and if you click that, this content, so it now gets populated by a tailor can edit that content. So you can go to the edit, you will get a H5P editor, and from that H5P editor, you can edit your own content. So I will not go into all these details, but let me just quickly show you that you can change whatever you want. So let me put just a small audience. So you can edit your content. So the seminar, you will get that part. So you are the only one who can, the one who created is the only one who can create, edit it. That link. If you are the creator of the content, you can fork it. Get somebody else's content, start from there. Maybe you only like part of it, you want to add your own stuff. So how can you do that? Well, you can be provided to the platform a way of doing it. So you can use my content as a starting point, maybe use only some of it, and you can add your own things, and you can create your own content that way, or you can create it from brand new. First part of the first created has the ability to edit them. Anybody else who has access to the platform can create their own content or content from others. So that's that. So the next part is process, and this whole program specifications are available. So I think Sampath, beginning of the presentation, so they have a pilot in 3 institutions. One in Sri Lanka, one in Thailand, and so there are 3 institutions in this consortium who are responsible running it as a pilot project. And university from India, it is RK University. And so I will demonstrate some of the content that we are now populating from them. So there is this example program so we have several here. We have 2 from SLTC, UTB, Transylvania, Brussels, we have 2. And so let me demonstrate what a program looks like from this point of view. So if you display the program, it will give you all the information that you have. So this is what a program is. It doesn't have content, it doesn't have anything, it has the specifications. It has how the credits are distributed, advanced, beginner, intermediate, how are they distributed, what are the program outcomes, we have a list of program outcomes, then breadth matrix, where so these numbers are automatically computed. All of the courses that you have put, the program structure has ILO. ILO is tagged to a taxonomy level. So you have a number of credits allocated to ILO, you weight that and you divide by the total credit. So you have a credit number, credit weighted depth level that allows you to do a more objective program outcome mapping. So that is one. And this graph actually tells you the competencies that are covered in the program. So in this, under this program, mathematics, law, material science, chemistry, computer science, personal development, sociology, electrical and electronic engineering. So why these bars are not those courses? The ILOs have not. So there are courses that come under this, but the ILOs have not been completely specified yet. And so this is a semester delivery plan. registers, and we have the sequence, so you can specify that. And if you want to download all this information, you can also download it. So these are the beginner courses. You have a table, and if you have intermediate courses, advanced courses, and elective courses, this program has none. And you can download it. And if you want to find courses that are listed on the program, you get this program. They have biology for life and all the intended learning outcomes are there. So the keywords are very crucial. This actually captures in some sense what is the material that is covered under this course. Like I said, it does not have anything other than specifications. So what are the specifications? Credit to ILO map, and it has the total number of credits, the classification, and the name. So that's all. Not only will you be able to map it to a depth level, but if you fill it up the rest of the part, what the student is expected to do in a very descriptive way and a succinct way, you can actually capture through the keywords what is being covered by that course. So for example, if you go through this content, it says animal behavior, cell change, climate concerns, destruction, environment. So these are the keywords that are contained in those ILs. So the keywords, you can do if you do a very careful job, this piece of information will tell you what the course is about. So that's a program. So again, you can create programs, you can edit programs, you can reuse programs. And so if you have a program that you like that is on the database, you can start with that. You can create your own program, you can edit it, you can do whatever you want with respect to that. And so you can do the thing and so on. So what I demonstrated right now is the content creation part, how we are going to plan to do it, how we are going to collaborate on creating content. This is the program post creation part. So if you go to, let's say, view courses program. So again, courses are classified under this classification method. And so we have those courses that we had, maybe let's say, so under chemistry we have a course. So if you go over there, so this is what a course looks like. Classification, total number of credits, objectives. So this says that the keyword is discussed, and this is what it is supposed to do. So discuss the principles of general concepts and quantitative measures of solutions and so on. And this says 0.5 being allocated to that ILO, and based on the depth level, by looking at keyword is which level 0.5 and adding them and dividing by say 1, 2, you get this depth level map and who the author is. So this is basically what a course looks like. And you can create courses again using this this interface that we have. You can update courses, you can add fork one of existing courses and use part, and then you also if you pick say so you can pick the course code that you want to have, and it will give you as these ILOs, and has been done. So they are working on the ILO one, the PO to the ILO one. Get the ILO up here and see under what ILO comes, and you just click that. So this allows you to do the PO and what else? Yeah, so that's so we just but on a nutshell, in a nutshell, that is what we have. Okay, so right now we have content, we edit content, we have content created by people in a collaborative way and stored in. We have courses again can be created in a collaborative way, stored and listed and version controlled and everything in a global repository, global way. So these are all global content, meaning shared content created by people in a collaborative way and reused and so So that's the creation part. Now comes how we use it in a classroom. So to do that, what we have to do is we have to pick a course in a classroom form. That's the first step. First step is to create a classroom from a existing course. So let me say, I know we had in physics, we had some stuff. So if we have physics, let me on all the courses in the system that are under this application will be listed out here. We can pick one of these courses. So if you pick classroom, I'm not sure whether I have privileges to set that course, whether I have created, but let me go to the classroom and see if it had got created. So let's see. So these are the classrooms. Again, the classrooms are also classified under the same classification system. Let me see if that got created or because it we have done. Okay, so I wasn't sure whether we had. Okay, so this template course gets created. When you hit the create a classroom, the template course gets created, the automatically populated, and so this is there. So this is taken from the global database. So the teacher can't do anything. So teacher, this is automatically created. So this is the metadata for the course, the classroom for which the course is being, sorry, the classroom from which the course has been created. So this course information is in the database. When all this metadata into the classroom, and it also has a template. So we will populate a template. So this is the template that will be. So we will agree on what this is. Right now, this is what we have as a consortium done. So this is what a classroom looks like. It has topics, and it has all these template sections that have been filled, and the teacher can actually pick content, add forums, add quizzes. And right now, this is all the teacher can do. Right now in the classroom, that's later on maybe we will improve on it, but or add other requirements. But right now, as a starting point, this is our pedagogy. Classroom is collection of topics. Under topics, there are three things: learning content, can collaborate in the form of discussion. Teachers and students can collaborate. Maybe teachers and also collaborate in this discussion over here. So without doing the content, so again the content when a participant does the content, because the content also has assessment, a grade will be generated and it will report automatically. So the grade book can. So right now the grade book is automatically configured so that it has two parts: summative, formative. So summative has mid-semester, end semester. This is based on the model that we have at University of Peradeniya. We have formative. So in formative, we have class participation, and all those activities come here. So interactive activities come here. The forum comes here, and then the part goes into competency assessments or continuous assessments, if you may, and the quiz marks will go over there. And at the end of the whole thing, all of this can be automated. The teacher will not have anything to do. All that has to do is actually pick the right content, create the discussion, participate in discussion, and so that is the model of a classroom that we have over here. So let me next demonstrate actually how we can edit this content in a classroom. So right now in this classroom that I created, mechanics, there's only a demo. So I want to start adding content in classroom. Now, this is how we do that through this tool that we have over here. So we will pick the domain or the content that we want to the database. So maybe I will pick something like what I have prepared here: engineering and technology. So the course is physics, engineering, mechanical engineering, and so proceed. It will look for in the database what are the content that are in the category from the database, and it will list. So these are the contents that are under that category. So if you go here, you will see this mechanical engineering. So these are existing content. Engineering, mechanical engineering, there are 4 pieces of content already created. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you go over here, you will see that that content is listed here. So you go over there, you browse, you find out, and you add that here. So maybe I want to add that into my section. And so I want to add in that content, there are modules. In this one, there's only one module. We will pick that module. And if I want to reconfirm, I can view that content over here. So this is the content that I want to add. Let me verify that whether that is what I want to add. So that is, it has no videos, it has no mostly text stuff. And so this is the one that I want to add to my content. Confirm that I want to add this content. Now it will retrieve all the content from the database and populate it in your classroom under the topic that you choose to pick. When it does that, it will make it available for the students. And so that's how we add content to the students. So now I want to pick the classroom that I want to add. So the classroom, so that's the content I want to add. To which classroom do I want to add? Physical sciences, physics, mechanics. It will ask under physics, what are the things? I had only created one classroom, so there are bugs like user friendliness we have to improve, but so just let me make sure that the classroom is right. Yeah, so mechanics, and see all this has only template topics. And let's say we want to add it to topic 1, we want to replace that template topic with that chosen content and choose section to add. The topic C, it will ask which content I want to replace, template XRP, and if I hit this, the link should appear here, and so let me refresh that, and that got added. And it has also assessment, so when a student goes through that, it automatically populates your the grade book. It is tagged to ILO, so the competency mapping can be automatically obtained, and so on. So this is what we have so far. There are still the interface is kind of not very user friendly, but we are having a little bit of issues with that, and also we have limitations in importing only content. We are working on migrating content that has images. So that is what we have over here as an initial platform for collaborative content creation, teaching and learning, and using technology to do that. And so that's it. So again, what we are trying to do here is be able to separate. So let me go back to the slide, I think, just to highlight something. So this is what we are trying to do. So this is so the file is we have to separate things, content from this, and then independent, so that they can be brought into a classroom on the right. Teachers can, in a collaborative way, be engaged with this collaboration.
Right. Thank you, Dr. for giving us a overview of TEAL2 platform as well as like how it is working. I think it's now for the audience to raise their concerns, the questions that you want to ask about the team. And I think what we have been doing for a couple of years, 2 years now. So it's over to you guys. If you have any questions, you can ask directly or you can put it in the chat box.
Okay, I think I should have. So So this is our team, and this is what I had at the beginning is our University of Tehran team. This is from the project proposal, well, actually from conception to actually this is about 5 years of work, 5 years of discussions and work that we are right now talking about. And so this is our team, and this is our international team of people. And I would actually like to actually acknowledge Nuru, without whom so this is Nuru is one of the content developers. So SLT is one of our partners. Sri Lanka is the content developer from University of Tehran side. Is from the development team, and I would like to actually point out that without Nuru, this would not have been possible. So Nuru is over here. Again, I think the purpose of this is to actually introduce that we have something in a more systematic over the next few years, not next few years, next few months, start binding stakeholders and we will, so that will be our target. So today is just a basic introduction to the functionality of the platform for the people who have been taking part in these seminars organized by the support and question.
Okay, so if you don't thank Dr. Manju. So having this session, having educating as well as the community the TEAL2 platform. Well, I want to thank you for taking your time and also us to get out the new platform. Actually, educating this, I think we complicated at the first time, even for us, take some time to get the idea. But I think you got the idea compared to what is existing in the model, where we are trying to separate the content and then with institutions. And the idea, like the platform is the Asian and also European, quite helpful for you as well. If any one of you are interested in, get a training on this, or maybe if you're thinking of implementing, please contact us. We will also have a WhatsApp chat. I'll be putting you that WhatsApp chat, as well as you will get the link for the YouTube video and also all our previous videos as well. So with that said, I think it's time to say conclude this session, and thank you again all of you, as well as having this in STC. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.